so many horrific accusations, though, involving young singers, like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is crazy. And meanwhile, the guy was like hanging out with Oprah, hanging out with Obama.
Jay-Z,
everybody.
everyone.
For years, people in Hollywood whispered about it. The couch, the bedroom in the office, the deal you had to make if you wanted the role, the record deal, the stage. Nobody said it out loud on a platform with millions of listeners. Joe Rogan did. And now, with Harvey Weinstein convicted, Diddy federally indicted, and the Epstein files dropping over 3 million pages, everything Rogan was describing years ago has a paper trail behind it. Today, we go through what Rogan actually said, how the system works, who it protects, who it destroys, and why Dave Chappelle, the one person who walked away from $50 million, might be the only person in this story who fully understood what was being offered and what it would cost. Everything in this video is verified and on the public record. Let's get into it. Joe Rogan has been talking about the couch casting system in Hollywood for years, and the framing he uses is specific and important. He doesn't present it as a rumor. He presents it as a documented, systemic practice that everyone on the inside knows about and nobody talks about publicly.
Right. But, you know, Tarantino was telling us about this old school Hollywood producer who had a bedroom in his office.
Sure.
So you would go into his office, and this is like, you know, in the 60s or whatever. So he had his office, and then he had a whole bedroom in his studio.
Yeah.
Where he would bang all the starlets. Like, if you wanted to be a star, you had to bang that guy. Which is just the deal with the devil that has always been that business.
That's always been there. There's always been there. It's like
that has always been that business. Not was. Has always been. Rogan's point is that couch casting is not a historical artifact. It is not something the industry grew out of after the Me Too movement. It is structural. It is baked into how power flows in entertainment. And everybody on set, everybody, knows what the director or producer is doing and what the performer had to do to get cast. As long as they are making money, everyone stays silent. Harvey Weinstein's contract made this almost explicit. It is documented and has been widely reported. His contract with the Weinstein Company included a financial penalty structure for harassment claims. First offense, $100,000. Second, $250,000. Third, $750,000. Fourth, $1 million. The existence of that structure in a formal contract suggests the company anticipated ongoing claims and built a financial management system around them rather than addressing the behavior.
It was in his contract. The way he had his contract set up was like they had a certain amount of money that he would have to pay if he had a harassment claim against him. It was like...
It was a thing for him.
Yes. Like, he had so many claims. That's like, first offense was $100,000. Second offense was $250,000. Third offense was $750,000. Fourth offense was $1 million.
That is not an allegation. That is a reported, documented clause in a professional contract. Rogan's most consistent and uncomfortable argument is about child actors specifically. He has said repeatedly, and said it plainly, that the predation in Hollywood targets children more than any other group, and that the parents, more often than people want to acknowledge, are aware of what is happening.
Don't let your kids get into acting. Do not let your kids get into that.
Has it ever worked out?
Well, you know, the other thing is, like, look at what happened with that Sandusky guy. That guy was taking care of kids. Like, his whole thing was like, hey, I do charitable work with children. You know, I do charitable work and I take care of these kids.
Camp.
Yeah, I'm just all about helping kids. It's all about helping kids. They're our future.
Hell yeah, they're going after him.
That guy's entire business. Here's the thing. He's one of many. There's got to be like a bunch of people that ran their business that way.
But Weinstein, they say like in Hollywood, like my agent's like, oh no, yeah, it's about time you got caught. I'm like, what the f? Everyone knew this?
Dude,
like everyone knew.
Did you see his contract? It was in his contract. The way he had his contract set up was like they had a certain amount of money that he would have to pay if he had a harassment claim against him. It was like...
It was a thing for him.
Yes. Like, he had so many claims. That's like, first offense was $100,000. Second offense was $250,000. Third offense was $750,000. Fourth offense was $1 million. He had it written into his contract with Miramax. his contract with the Weinstein company. Like
He
like,
owned Miramax, right?
I don't know. Explain that contract. Like he'd have to pay $100,000.
Yes. Okay, they're protecting themselves.
Oh, when they sign him, they go, okay, the first time with one of these guys, it's gonna be 100,000.
Yes.
Second time, it's 200.
It's not
Holy.
Yes, I mean it was
That's
so
how big of a problem it
yes,
was.
it was such a huge. It was so known of what he would do, and look, even Quentin Tarantino said that he did it to his ex-girlfriend.
He has pointed to the documentary Open Secret, which examines documented cases of abuse targeting child performers in Hollywood, as evidence that this is not speculation, but a pattern with named perpetrators and named victims that the industry absorbed and protected for decades. Terry Crews, a man with the physical presence to make most people think twice, came forward publicly and described being groped by a powerful Hollywood agent at an industry event. His account was detailed, specific, and on the record. And his point in sharing it was precisely this. If it happened to him, what was happening to people with less physical confidence, less financial security, and less public platform to speak from? The answer, Rogan argues, is sitting in the Epstein files, in the Diddy indictment, in the Weinstein conviction. One of the most significant things Rogan has said publicly is the framing of Epstein and Weinstein not as separate scandals, but as connected nodes in the same supply chain.
Throughout history, whether they were kings or what, human beings are human beings universally. So everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, like these guys knew what these extremists liked and provided it, and provided the way for you to to have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history.
This is William framing, presented as his analysis, not as established legal fact. But it is a framing that the Diddy indictment and the Epstein file releases have made increasingly difficult to dismiss. The federal documents describe Diddy's operation in terms that align precisely with what Rogan was describing years before the raids. Controlled environments, recorded footage used as leverage, a network of powerful people whose silence was maintained through mutual implication. Eddie Bravo, a longtime guest on Rogan's podcast, laid out the honeypot theory in terms that have aged poorly for the people who dismissed it.
It's so crazy to think there's not a list.
That's what Jimmy
has to be
said.
list.
He's a tinfoil hat guy.
There's a
conspiracy
lady
theory.
in jail for trafficking.
And Jimmy would acknowledge it.
To no one. Like there's no one who's been arrested that she said to.
And that's what Aaron's saying.
Well, there's a list that's out. Who knows if it's fake? I don't know. It could be a fake list. Who knows? But Chris Tucker's on that list, and they asked Chris Tucker on a podcast, "What's up with you being on the list?" He didn't do what Jimmy Kimmel said. Jimmy Kimmel said it's a fake list. Who cares what that list says? It's fake.
Right.
Chris Tucker goes, "Yeah, I did go on that flight, but we went to Africa, and I went with a bunch of diplomats. I didn't know who the Epstein guy was." Like Chris Tucker says, like, I had no idea. We were on this plane. We were going to Africa, do some diplomatic and turns out I didn't know.
Well, they definitely got people connected to him by using famous people. Yes.
Yeah.
Because
my point was, Chris Tucker basically confirmed that the list was like legit because he's on it.
Right.
Chris Tucker confirming he was on the flight, while maintaining he was unaware of Epstein's crimes, is significant precisely because it validates that the documented flight logs and contact lists are real. The question of what people knew and when they knew it is one that the ongoing federal proceedings will continue to examine. We have covered Oprah's documented associations in depth in previous videos on this channel. In the context of this script, actor Seal framing, the specific question he raises when he posted a photo of Oprah with Weinstein after his arrest. The post read, and we are quoting Seal's public Instagram caption, "Oh, I forgot. That's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young, starry-eyed actresses. My bad." Seal's post is a documented public statement from a named individual. Oprah did not publicly respond to it. Rogan's point, and it is his characterization, is that Oprah's public positioning after Weinstein's arrest as a voice for survivors requires honest examination in light of her documented years-long professional alliance with Weinstein during the period his crimes were occurring.
3 days after Oprah publicly supported victims of sexual assault in the wake of numerous allegations against Harvey Weinstein, singer Seal Instagrammed this meme, showing Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul. It reads, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution."
Please welcome Seal!
The 54-year-old who's appeared on Oprah's show captioned his post, "Oh, I forgot, that's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young starry-eyed actresses. My bad." While Weinstein maintains his innocence, Seal hasn't commented further, and Oprah has not responded.
This moment is a really powerful time for everybody to get woke.
Fans have come to her defense, pointing out Winfrey is a sexual assault survivor. They also posted pics of Seal's ex, Heidi Klum, kissing Weinstein too.
How are you?
I am here.
Today on Ellen, Oprah was busy dealing with the aftermath of a natural disaster.
The neighbors out back, their houses are gone.
The celeb neighbors FaceTimed as Winfrey showed the devastation and rescue efforts after deadly mudslides hit their Montecito, California enclave.
We're going to do what great Americans do all the time. We're going to help each other. We're going to help each other out wherever
Yes, we
needed.
are.
Stephen Twitch Boss was an executive producer of The Ellen DeGeneres Show. He stayed with the show for nearly 8 years until it ended in 2022. On December 13th, 2022, he died by suicide. That is the documented, verified public record of what happened. What follows is unverified online speculation. We are labeling it clearly as such. Claims circulating online have suggested that Twitch possessed compromising information connected to parties involving both Ellen DeGeneres and Diddy. These claims have no verified source. They have not been corroborated by law enforcement, court documents, or named witnesses. We present them only because they are actively circulating, and you deserve to know they exist, not because there is evidence supporting them. What is documented is this. Twitch's death came shortly after The Ellen Show ended following its toxic workplace scandal. The circumstances of his final hours, leaving home quietly, switching his phone to airplane mode, checking into a motel under his own name, were widely reported by TMZ and other outlets. His note, according to reports, referenced challenges he had faced. The specific contents have not been made fully public. The online speculation exists because of timing and proximity to other documented scandals. That is not evidence of anything. It is the internet connecting dots that may or may not be connected. Beyond the specific names and cases, Rogan has described something more systemic: the way power itself operates in Hollywood, and what it does to the people who hold it.
There's an arrogance that some stars had, like particularly in the 90s. When I first came to Hollywood, and this was like really evident for me because I was not a star, but I was on a television show. So I got to be around a lot of stars. And there was a way that some of them would treat you. They would let you know that you are subhuman. You are below them. They would communicate with you in the most disrespectful and dismissive ways, like weird, like mousy guys that I could, like instantly, and they would just be rude to you in a really weird way because they had power. They had power, and then when an executive would come over, they would turn on the charm. They'd be smiling and laughing, and then you would talk to them at the craft service, and they would dismiss you in the shittiest ways. I encountered a bunch of that.
Yeah.
It was commonplace, and it was, I think, a thing that they aspired to.
He describes a two-faced reality that is the foundation of everything else in this story. The same people who project warmth, advocacy, and humanity on camera, dismissing support staff as beneath them the moment the cameras stop. The performance of values as a brand strategy rather than a lived reality. Richard Pryor described something similar decades earlier, being taken by comedian Flip Wilson to parties in Malibu and witnessing what was happening among Hollywood's elite social circles firsthand. His account, given in his own words in a documented interview, described what he saw in terms that have taken on new significance in light of everything that has since come out publicly. He said after seeing it 4 or 5 times, Flip Wilson told him, "You see why I don't mess with that?" Which brings us to the person Joe Rogan has consistently held up as the one figure in entertainment who genuinely understood the system and made the only rational choice available to him. Dave Chappelle was offered $50 million by Comedy Central to continue his show. By any measure, one of the most significant deals in the history of American comedy. He walked away. And the way he described why, the baboon and the salt trap, is the clearest explanation anyone has given of how this industry captures people and keeps them captured.
So much bigger than money, though, Dave. It's so much bigger than money.
Oh, no, it was bigger than money. But you know what? I watched one of these nature shows one time, and they were talking about how a bushman finds water when it's scarce. And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently, baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt. Salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. The bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
The salt is the money, the cage is the control, and the water the baboon eventually leads the bushman to. That is whatever the industry actually wanted from him all along. Dave Chappelle let go. He walked away from $50 million and took the most important thing Hollywood cannot buy and cannot take: his soul. Joe Rogan understood what Chappelle was doing before almost anyone else. He has said so publicly and repeatedly. And now, with Weinstein convicted, Diddy indicted, and 3 million pages of Epstein documents in the public record, the system Rogan has been describing for years has a paper trail long enough to wrap around the industry twice. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.